So this is my second video about the athletic response. The first video I talked a lot about, how you can use this so-called athletic low point to your advantage. This video is much more about the golf club. It's about how you come in different positions with the club and how you athletically react. Because I've seen this over the years, that we can study stuff in slow motion videos and everything. Sure, that works, but I find it to be even better if you actually go into what the club is doing and what your response is. Like for instance, in the last video I talked about early extension actually can be a product of having your low point too far back. So if you get your low point forward, early extension would kind of solve itself, which I think is cool. And in this video I'll talk about two exact topics. The first one is being too open too late into the golf ball. What this will do with you and how it's actually often paired with a low point, right? The second one is the opposite, being too close too late, which means that if you just unleash it, you're going to hook the golf ball. So what will you do then? So that's what I will talk about. So let's jump into it. So too open too late means that you have efficiently, if you're an old school protocol player, you have pulled your hands forward, which has reduced the ability to kind of close down the club face, and you have shortened the swing arc. So it means that the hands are moving more than the club head and you're open. In the light version, so like a very light version, it's just a small push fade miss. And I actually perform these quite a lot on YouTube even. I mean, that's the name of the game when it comes to golf, right? You basically perform small misses all of the time. Now I exaggerated it a little bit too much there just to show a point. I pulled my hands forward, the club face was open. And you can solve that in the modern variation through kind of, closing it down and delaying it and this kind of stuff. But in the old school variation, you should let the club go more, right? The other version of this in the extreme mode, meaning I come in with a super open club face, is that the body steps in and says, nope, that's not going to happen. It says that I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to save it. And loads of golfers play golf like this. I did it for like 10 years. So this is way too open. I'm just exaggerating in slow motion. Way too open here. The hands step in and they save it. And it goes to the left, right? So I'll show you here. So it's just an athletic save. And if you play golf like this, you are a two-way misser. And you can play 72 one day and 90 the next day. And it doesn't feel very secure to play golf. It's much simpler if you unleash the club more, like I'm going to show you now, from a better athletic low point, then it's just easier to hit the golf shot. So in my experience, this comes very much from athletic position of a low point that is too far backwards. Because if you're too far backwards, you will athletically say, no, I'm going to hit the ground. You're going to push your hands forward, which means this, and you're going to stand up. So it's kind of linked to both, pushing the hands forward and early extension. So this is why I have these two videos next to each other. I'll link it again here. That's the athletic low point video, right? Okay, so that was the first scenario that I wanted to describe. And if you're in the old school pattern, it's just about utilizing more club earlier instead of pulling the hands. If you're in the modern pattern, we'll actually talk a little bit more about that in the next scenario. Okay, so let's talk about the second scenario. So the first one was too open too late, and that is being too close too early. So you're too close in your club face in relation to what will happen to normal blade rotation, and you need to athletically respond. So this is within the old school pattern, meaning using the golf club, right? In a modern pattern, that might just be the name of the game, but I like to use the club. So this is the one where I have a little bit two-shot face. And I'm exaggerating now, like a little bit too much. I have to strangle the golf club to keep it decently straight. So my club head speed went down like a lot of percents there. And I'll hit one more, a little bit two-shot face. And I need to strangle it. I mean, it's a golf shot that I find to be okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's not a very nice feeling to hit that one. It was more like, yeah, I had something in the way. So that's the first variation of doing that you athletically strangle the club, and you basically don't allow the club to release, because if it releases in the normal natural blade rotation, you will put it to the left. The second variation of this is to hit it to the left, because you made something in the backswing that put yourself in a shot position, but you unleash the golf club. And it's quite self-evident. It's just a big old hook, right? So I'm going to make a representation of this here. So it's not a big hook, but it's a little bit of a left miss, if you will. And the thing is that I don't want to exaggerate too much here, because this is what is going on in a normal golf round. This is actually what is going on when you're seeing my shots here on YouTube. Like almost every single shot is a balance between these two. And if you get them just right, then you get close to the pin. I think that's a decent one. It's a little bit too much to the right here, but you know, the point is that most of your golf shot is going to be a small miss. In my pattern, or in the old school pattern, but I call it the FMM, the one that I teach, right? That's basically what you do. You hit a load of good golf shots and you hit a load of misses. And when you miss it, you just need to understand what is happening. So I hope that you got something out of this. And I really recommend that you watch my other video about athleticism and about the athletic response when it comes to low point, because these are intertwined. But it was a pleasure to speak with you, and hopefully you got something out of it. That one could be good, actually. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.